everybody, it's Wednesday. So I have my sketch for today. This is the sketch we're going to be using. It's sketch 15. It features 3 photos. It has a matted page, some fun little tuckies and things going on down here, and then a title. I'm going to probably follow this particular sketch really closely because I really like it. And so when I find a Shimelle sketch that I really like and I can't really do a lot, like I probably will reimagine it in some way, but the last couple sketches I've been like crazy reimagining. So I'm gonna stick to this one pretty closely just because I really, it suits my photos and I like it a lot. Okay, so here are my 3 photos that we're gonna be using today. And then for product, I have what might be an interesting mix. So I really wanted to pull the colors out of this photo. This was these were photos, I had my sketch, I picked the photos, and then I had to find product to go with it, which is not usually how I scrapbook. But so when I look at these photos, we have like this mustardy yellow, and we've got the grays and the dark colors, and then this kind of like burgundy background. And so those are kind of the colors I want to do. This is going to be a very masculine layout. So I really want to pull those colors. So when I went searching through my stash and I consulted Christina, who is my kit creator extraordinaire, we came up with some papers from Heidi Swap's Storyline collection, particularly this gray color. And then I also was kind of taking a look at some of these, not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one, this color, some of the black and whites in here. Now, not everything, but I was really kind of thinking like this pattern would work really well with my photos. This solid could be a really nice kind of background to frame my pictures with. So I have those, just those 2 papers really were the ones I kind of was gravitating towards. And I also like this pink one, but it doesn't match exactly. The one in the photo is more of like a creamy buttery yellow, and I like the black and white. So I'm thinking about those. And then for that burgundy, I pulled out, this was totally Christina's idea, pulled out Pink Paisley's Auburn Lane. So I don't know exactly what's in here. I'm going to go through it. You can see I have enough Auburn Lane to like get me through. I could use Auburn Lane to literally probably scrapbook an entire year of pictures because it was my favorite. Many of these embellishments I have in triplicate. So I'm going to go through my Auburn Lane stuff, pull some bits and pieces. I want to pull in some of these black and white vellum florals. I definitely want to pull in some of the burgundy and the cream for this, and then kind of mix and match it with those couple patterns from the Storyline Chapters collection. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to go through all of this, kind of get my mise en place done, collect the products I think I'm going to use, and then we'll come back and we'll put this layout together. So I started off with a background of this like creamy colored cardstock. It's just from my stash. It doesn't have a branding strip, so I don't know exactly what color it is. I'm kind of auditioning it and deciding which paper I want to use behind it, and I decided on this black and white pattern. I almost went with the burgundy. I really did, but I knew that I wanted to make sure to add some of that black and white element into my layout, and I thought if I did the burgundy, I would end up doing burgundy through the whole layout. So I am going to go ahead and just use Vintage Photo Distress ink on most of the elements on this layout, because while my background paper is black and white, you can see there that there's like this brown tinge to it, like it's distressed. And so that was part of the reason I chose it, because it incorporated both the kind of cool black and white with that brown color, and that it would help with my entire layout. So I'm going to start with this band across the middle of the page. Now, in hindsight, I should never have cut that floral paper because it ends up being completely, totally, and utterly covered up. But I didn't know that at this moment in time. I liked the idea of having those florals with all the colors and then the burgundy behind, but in the end, once I put my photos down and that cluster beside the photos, yeah, no. Okay, so now I have all of these scraps of paper. These aren't full sheets, and since I have the scraps and I know I need some little pieces, I want to use them. So I'm going to put this band down, and then I'm going to grab those different patterns and I'm going to mat each of these photos. So these photos pretty much tell their own story. I'm not going to need a lot of journaling. In fact, I don't think I put any on here because I don't need it. Maybe I put the date on it, but that's about it. I went ahead and matted my photos. So these are pictures of my oldest son and his best friend. I mean, his best friend. And I very rarely get them to both of them to look nice and let me take a photograph. But this day I did. They were both dressed really nice, and I got them to get together so I could take a photograph. And they tried to be stone-faced and not smile. So you can kind of see how that went. And so I picked the three that pretty much tells the story. They say a photo's worth 1,000 words, and in this case, these photos are worth 1,000 words. I'm going to use some pieces from this little cut apart. I just chose a couple of little bits and then some scraps. And I have all of my photos down now, and in the sketch, there are these like layered pieces that kind of go down to help create this kind of T-shaped design. And so I am going to take advantage of that element, and I'm going to cut all of these scraps of paper into small pieces and manageable sizes, and I'm going to tuck them all in and around and create that long kind of cluster. And I'm going to just use patterns. So this is, I kind of figured this was a great way to get all these patterns and different colors that I wanted to include into the page. I don't end up using them all. I end up with those two little scraps, and I'm going to end up putting them up at the top there. That is not part of the sketch, but I just felt like I needed another place of embellishment. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and ink all these little bits and bobs of paper and tuck them right back in and glue them down. Next, I'm going to grab all of these beautiful flowers, focusing on these black and white vellum flowers, and I'm going to place them around and between all of my layers. So if you are concerned at all, if you are looking at this going, so many gorgeous flowers, never fear. First of all, most of these flowers were fussy cut from a sheet of paper, and they were just loosely in with all of my other Auburn Lane, so getting them onto a layout is a really, really good thing. Secondly, this is more important, I have two other ephemera packs from Auburn Lane that are completely untouched and unopened. So it's okay. We can go flower crazy on this layout, and it is all good. Next up, I want to put my date stamp in. I want to put my date in this little, it's like a rose gold, it looks like a bookend, book plate, that's what it is, not a bookend, a book plate. So I'm going to go ahead, I want to get a nice date going, and this is just a piece of paper, it's just random scrap paper hanging out on my desk. So it doesn't matter how it all works out. So I put the date stamp down first, and then I put the book plate over it so I could have the book plate nice and centered. And then I'm going to go ahead and just fussy cut around the outside edge of that book plate so that I have a date for my photos and the date is centered on the book plate. Now I'm going to use most of the black. I'm going to use all the black. I'm pretty sure I used them all of the black enamel dots that came in this collection. And I'm going to put it down with some extra Nouveau Deluxe adhesive because they don't stick. And so I decided I'd just go ahead and use them up. I'm going to work with my title now. I'm going to leave the title where it is on the sketch. And I'm going to spell out my title, which is Don't Smile. And then I'm going to glue all of that down with Nouveau Deluxe adhesive because AC chipboard doesn't stick. That should be a song. It worked well. I have all these little bits and pieces now all adhered down. I'm liking where everything is. I'm just want to bring those enamel dots through and into the rest of the layout, which is what I'm going to do next. And that is where we are going to call this layout done. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe and say hello and hit the like and leave me a comment because I just love all of those things. And here are all of your close-ups and the correct date stamp. I hope you are all having a fabulous, fabulous week. Get ready because we have definitely brand new videos now through Friday. I'll talk to y'all again very soon. Bye.